What will God do to a narcissist when he feels wreathed? Hey there, thanks for tuning back in. Today's episode is for those who felt the frustration of watching a narcissist get away with their questionable behavior. We're delving into a topic that might shed some light on this issue, the concept of divine justice, particularly in the context of pride, manipulation, and deceit. If you've ever pondered why justice seems delayed, or how God addresses these challenges, stick around. We're diving deep into these questions. By the end of our discussion, we hope your faith will be fortified and your understanding enriched. Let's get started. Ever heard of Jezebel? She's a prominent figure in the Bible, appearing in the books of 1st and 2nd Kings. Imagine her as the wife of Ahab, the king of Israel. Despite her regal title, she's more akin to a villain disguised as a virtuous lady. Beneath her pleasant facade lies a self-serving agenda, reminiscent of the narcissists we just discussed. So, what's her story? Jezebel wasn't content with merely royal affairs. In Israelite culture, her worship of the god Baal was deeply taboo. She didn't shy away from getting her hands dirty either, orchestrating the demise of God's messengers, and even orchestrating the murder of Naboth to seize his vineyard for her husband Ahab. Needless to say, she and the prophet Elijah weren't exactly on good terms. Ever notice that one person who always seems to come out on top? Whether it's a parent who constantly makes you feel inadequate, or a friend who effortlessly charms their way into the boss's good graces, this pattern isn't limited to a specific group. Both men and women exhibit behaviors reminiscent of Jezebel. Now, here's where it gets intriguing. If you pay close attention, you'll notice parallels, much like those found in the Bible. Take, for instance, the themes of worship and deceit. Jezebel promoted the worship of the god Baal while discouraging devotion to God. Sound familiar? It's a recurring motif. Narcissists fabricate grandiose narratives about themselves while belittling others to bolster their own egos. Consider this. God frowns upon the worship of false idols. Remember the whole, "Thou shalt not have other gods before me" commandment. It's a rule narcissists easily flout, as they prioritize their own self-worship. They elevate their ego to divine status and expect everyone else to follow suit. Ever noticed how criticism tends to backfire with them? It's like poking a hole in their fragile ego. Just as God cautioned the Israelites against straying from his path, he offers similar warnings to narcissists. Consider these warnings as the first step in a series of interventions. Trust me, there will be plenty more if they refuse to change their ways. That tragic chapter in Jezebel's story didn't have to unfold the way it did. Just like narcissists, we all have opportunities for redemption and chances to set things right. Consider this. How many times has God nudged you or me before we finally grasped the message? Those nudges are signals that change is possible if we heed them. Ignoring them, however, only leads to trouble. Jezebel received numerous warnings, yet she stubbornly disregarded them. When Elijah and other prophets confronted her, she didn't flinch. Instead, she dug in her heels even deeper. Remember how Elijah demonstrated God's power on Mount Carmel? Jezebel wasn't pleased. She threatened Elijah, much like she had done to Naboth. See the pattern. It's akin to dealing with a wounded ego. Beware. If you provoke them, they'll stop at nothing to retaliate. Surely someone must have implored God. Are you seeing what's happening? Perhaps Elijah pondered, when will you intervene to make things right? But God has a plan. He desires to steer us away from the wrong path. Like you and me, he offers opportunities for reconciliation. Sometimes he sends gentle reminders through others to realign our course. Yet, the warning phase can feel interminable, especially when awaiting justice or change. You may be tempted to take matters into your own hands, but trust me, that only exacerbates the situation. Before divine justice intervenes, some may even falter in their faith during this waiting period. But rest assured, my friend, it's on its way. Wrongdoings do not escape God's notice. People often use the story of Jezebel to show how God doesn't stand for wrongdoing. Elijah couldn't have stopped her by himself. God had to step in. In short, just as Elijah said she would, Jezebel died a horrible death. She was thrown out of a window, horses stepped on her, and dogs ate her body, leaving only a few bones lying around. 2 Kings 9 tells you everything you need to know. It was cruel, but it was the direct effect of what she did, like God getting back at her. God doesn't like it when people treat him badly. The story of Jezebel is a stark warning of what happens when you break God's rules and hurt his people. Who is that controlling narcissist in your life? Who twists the Bible and takes advantage of others without giving it a thought? They will also have to answer for their actions. It might not be as exciting as Jezebel's, but I promise you that justice will be done. You know what? Everyone, even narcissists, will have to pay for what they did at some point. Your narcissist might not be as crazy as Jezebel, but they also might be. They might not die in such a horrible way, but take it from me, bad things are going to happen. A lot of narcissists feel like they're bound to be unhappy and unfulfilled all their lives. Have you noticed that as they age, they seem to get worse? That's because God might just let them get stuck in their own mess and let their own selfish wants take over. Think about living your whole life wanting more, never being happy, and only finding joy in other people's pain. If you ask me, it's a pretty sad life. I'm not saying that the only way you will get justice is by seeing them suffer. To put it another way, their lives aren't as perfect as they look. You are fair because you know that God can fix what was broken and turn sadness into happiness. Don't give up. Things will work out in the end. Don't think I'm telling you this to make you feel bad for them. They have to lie down in the bed they made. They kept turning away from God, which is why they are stuck in a cycle of pain, anger, and unmet wants. Being stuck in their own heads makes them feel like they're living in hell. Take a look. What do narcissists really want? Pay attention, confirm, and give. Where do they get it? You and me, regular people. The really scaly thing is that they burn through people like flames. Anyone they can manipulate and abuse, whether they are a friend, family member, or coworker. What do you think that leaves them with? A life spent alone. There may be a few faithful fans or family members who haven't caught on yet, but other than that, they're pretty much on their own. They have killed many people, and now they are blaming everyone else but themselves. Narcissists, on the other hand, are doomed to be lonely and unhappy. That being said, I would never trade places with them for anything. I know you really care about this person and want to keep them safe, but letting them do what they want won't change the result if they don't change. Narcissists may change who they are, but God stays the same. He doesn't give in to narcissists, just like he didn't give in to Jezebel. Don't worry, the ego will be caught, especially since God is on your side. Our all-powerful God is stronger than any force on earth or in hell. Narcissists often twist the Bible to make you doubt your faith and morals, which keeps you in their web of lies. If you learned something from this conversation, please like this video and subscribe to our channel for more enlightening material. Feel free to write about your ideas and experiences in the space below. Don't forget that you're not the only one who has to deal with narcissistic tactics. Take a look at the free book and information about one-on-one consultations listed in the description for more help and support. Thanks for watching, and may God lead you and keep you strong on your trip.